slow to start, and a couple of interesting scenarios here. One of them is the Blue Jays, a team that everybody, was thinking very highly of as far as the American League is concerned, and the American League East, a cocky team. Some swagger, play the Yankees well. Well, listen, they needed a couple of their players who they acquired in the offseason to really respond for them. Doesn't sound like they're going to have Springer for a while. He is always hurt, number one. And they're not going to have him for a while. He's got a sprained oblique. Those are very tricky injuries. Season starts next week, so Springer will not be in the lineup. You got to figure for at least a month you won't see Springer. Maybe May 1st. And even that's conservative. So if Springer is out for the Blue Jays, that's a problem for them. They have enough offense. They can deal with that. The other injury for them, as I just mentioned, is Yates. He is their closer now. They got him from San Diego. Yates got banged up last year, didn't pitch for them late in the season, and now he signed a one-year contract with the Blue Jays. And, these closers got to stay healthy. He's out. It sounds like, it was a forearm issue originally. Now it might be a Tommy John scenario, so you're not going to see Yates for a long period of time. So that's a major problem for the Blue Jays, whose bullpen wasn't great to begin with, who don't have great starting pitching to begin with, to carry that bullpen. So, and then Robbie Ray is going to be out a little while with a bruised elbow. He, of course, very well might be their second starter after Ryu. So major issues as far as Toronto is concerned, who start the year at Yankee Stadium against the Yankees next Thursday. And Toronto over-under number for the year, and now you wouldn't go near them. For the year, the over-under number that the last I took a peek at it was 86.5. So I lay low. Now those are injuries that I'm not sure if they can withstand that. Springer's not going to be there for a long time now. Their closing situation is certainly in upheaval. And, they can't afford to lose any starting pitchers. And I'm not making Robbie Ray out to be Dave Stieb. But they can't lose any starting pitching by any stretch of imagination. So the Blue Jays. The Mets have made a couple of offers to their prospective free agents, Conforto and Lindor. Both, especially Lindor, has maintained throughout spring training that they want a deal done by opening day. Now, I think the Met offer for Lindor is around $300 million. Now, remember, he's older than Tatis. Tatis got $320, but he's only 22 years of age. So you can give him a longer contract, which they did about 13, 14 years. You can't give Lindor that. You can't give him a 13-year contract. He's 28 years old. I think he's 28 right around. I think he's 28 once the season is underway. I think he's 27 now, 28 in the season. So you can't give him 13 years. So that means if you give him 10 and you give him $30 million a year, that's where your 300 comes from. A lot of people thought they'd give him 8 for 240 at $30 million a year and only go 8 years. He's not going to sign that and be $80 million shy of what, in fact, Tatis gets with the Padres, despite the age situation. And I get the impression that Lindor, he's almost going to be forced to have to sign this deal. Because, Cohen's got so much money, the new Met owner. But this is me now. Nobody else but me. I just get the impression that Lindor's not in love with signing any long-term contract with the Mets before he has to. And that has to would be next October. It doesn't have to be now. So he's put a firm deadline on opening day. Ball players are crazy. They somehow think being paid $400 million and negotiating the final numbers is a distraction. Pay me $400 million. I'll be better, not worse. But they somehow think that's a distraction if they let it go into a season. But the Lindor thing bears watching. I don't think he's going to get that done within a week. Conforto, their right fielder, is represented by Boris. Boris loves to take his guys to free agency, but Conforto, of course, is in a situation right now in right field where, he's been with the Mets from day one. He was drafted by the Mets out of Oregon State, and he's probably excited about the Beavers right now in the NCAA tournament. But Conforto has indicated that he'd like to stay there, and he wouldn't mind if he has to sign a contract once the season begins, he can deal with that. So we shall see on Conforto, who's a good player, not a great player, but he's a good player, but he's going to want more than the 150 that Springer got. And everybody got on the Mets for not signing Springer, but as it turns out, may have been a good move because Springer right now is hobbled with $150 million. They can't even get him to play. So we have to wait and see on that. That's the first thing I wanted to bring up is those two teams. 24 lawsuits now against Deshaun Watson. I don't know how he's going to be able to. He's never getting traded. Nobody's going to sign him or trade for him. And Houston And, they're stuck with him. I mean, it's fast. It's amazing how this has changed so quickly. You can disparage any of these particular lawsuits individually all you want, but there's 24 of them. So you can't disparage 24. You can't tell me that these are 24 made-up lawsuits. 24 here. There's got to be a couple that stick. So Watson, I think his best bet would be to come out and apologize for his behavior and not let this linger and stem the momentum. I don't think that would be my advice to him. Deshaun, is this true? Well, yeah. Well, you know what? Let's get ahead of this. It's almost too late to get ahead of it, but let's get ahead of it here, and let's admit fault. Nothing, let's downplay the massage treatment and just say, if I mistreated women and if I scared them or intimidated them with these massages, I sincerely apologize. That's what I think he should do. He's not going to, doesn't sound like he's going to do it. He had the Twitter account after the first girl said, I'm looking forward to clear my name. I haven't heard from him since. Lawyered up with Rusty Harden, but Watson's in big trouble here. In this day and age, with the NFL now investigating, Watson's in huge trouble. I don't know, 24, and there's probably more to come. There's going to be 30, 35 people here before the end of the day, and this is a major problem. Watson's not getting traded, so you can forget that. He's not going to Miami. He's not going to the Jets. He's not going to Carolina. There isn't an owner in the sport that's going to take any kind of chance. I'd be shocked on Deshaun Watson. So keep that in mind. And I think right now he may not play next year. He might get a long punishment. That is something to keep an eye on with the Texans. And finally, nice for Kyrie Irving. Here it is, Durant's out and Harden's hurt. Nice for Kyrie Irving to basically say to the Nets, I want a 3-day vacation. I don't want to go to Portland. I don't want to go to Salt Lake City. And I don't want to go to Detroit this week. It's my birthday tomorrow. And I don't want to sit there in the middle of the Pacific Northwest and then go to Salt Lake City in a back-to-back and then have to spend my 3 days in Detroit in that godforsaken city, in his eyes. So I want off. So give me let's call it a family issue, whatever that might be. It is my birthday, but so maybe there is something significant. I don't want to downplay it, but that is, that's a joke. And Irving doesn't deserve the benefit of the doubt because he did this already once this year. He took, 7 or 8 games off. This is what you deal with Irving. He's had a great year. He's averaging 28 points a game, and it helped them in the postseason. Don't get me wrong, but this is the nonsense you got to deal with him in a regular year. You think Jordan would ever take 3 days off? I mean, for personal reasons in the season? How about Bird? You think Bird's going to tell Red Auerbach, Red, I need a week off. I have a birthday. I'm not playing this week when we're going to, Kansas City, Phoenix, and Denver. I don't want to play. Let Mikhail Parrish and DJ do the team. I'll take a blow. You can't defend it. You cannot. And the Nets can't do anything. What are the Nets going to do? 12 after the hour, we take a timeout. We continue. Call us next. We're on Mad Dog.